Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today? So sorry about the delay. I was supposed to go much earlier, but next week I will. So I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes before more of y'all join me. So the reason why I picked this topic was, we are always talking serious stuff, so I thought this topic would be interesting. Different timelines, different dimensions, and how it actually affects twin flames. Yes, I see more of y'all coming in. Guys, say that you guys are here. Send me a hi, send me a reaction so that I know you guys are here. And it's already March. So quickly, 2.5 months have passed. So energy wise, it has been quite intense. This year has been extremely intense. A lot of twin flames are feeling fatigued, tired. Hi, Brooke. Nice to see you. So, you guys must be really excited. I love talking about different timelines and dimensions. And for twin flames, this is a big part of the journey because many of you all are actually meeting up in different dimensions and timelines, and that's what powers the entire connection, because 3D takes a while for union, and you have to go through all sorts of obstacles and challenges before uniting. So in that regard, once you understand traveling through different dimensions and timelines, you'll realize that you are not limited to the human body, and there's so much more. There's so much more to you than just being in your human body. So some of the early signs that you're actually timeline jumping and you're actually aware of traveling through other dimensions, meeting your twin flame, is one of the big giveaways is dreaming. Sometimes when you wake up, you would feel like you had dreamt about your divine masculine, and it would have been so real that it almost felt like you guys have lived out that moment. So that actually constitute as astral traveling through a different dimension. Hi, Stephanie, good to see you. So when you guys are actually at that particular timeline or dimension, you will realize that life is not linear, it's more expensive. So you're not limited to your experience here in 3D alone. And that's what's extremely fascinating. The more you travel, the more you're aware of yourself traveling through these dimensions, you will notice you will notice a lot of changes in your life. Your psychic abilities will expand, and you will be more in tune of yourself and your life on an energy level. So for example, okay, let me give you a very quick overview about the different dimensions. So you have those higher dimensions and you have those lower dimensions, right? So lower dimension just indicates that you're further away from God, you're further away from the universe, you're further away from understanding who you are. So when you are more separated, so the further you are dimensionally, your perception of awareness becomes limited, and that is when you start to suffer more. So when you're closer to God's dimension or the higher timelines or higher dimensions, you will notice that everything is effortless. Everything is easy. Things tend to flow. Everything tends to happen effortlessly. You don't have to struggle to get anything. Or but when, for example, if you are in the first dimension, the first dimension can be very, very dense, very, very material. So, for example, people who are abusing drugs, they tend to operate from that level, and that's so the first dimension tends to be the dimension of addiction, for instance. So when one is in that dimension, they may tend to feel very trapped. They are not able to come out of it. They're dependent on all these escapism tools, also illness. Or and then when you slowly start to like look at the second dimension, third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, so usually the fifth dimension and above tends to be more universe oriented. So anything below 5 tends to be more material, tends to be more earth based, and anything above 5 tends to be more ethereal, tends to be more expensive. And all these dimensions have their own essence, so there is no discrimination per se, like this is a better dimension, that is not a good dimension, or anything like that. Once you're aware at what dimension you're operating, you will be able to jump to that dimension that will be able to fulfill what you are aiming to do. Living in 5D is a very good state, because there you are not too above, not too below, and you tend to see life in a more holistic perspective. When you live in 3D, you tend to be very, very materialistic. You are more in tune with the earth's energy, so everything, so your emotions, your feelings, that tends to run your life. When you're in 4D, what happens is logic, rationality, things like that tends to run your life. And when you're 5D, you start operating from soul. That's when your intuition heightens. You tend to be more in tune with your surroundings. Your perspective on everything shifts. Even if, example, you're going through a big problem at work or your personal life, the way you see it, your problem solving will shift. So, for example, there's a big problem at hand. And when you look for solutions from different dimensions, you will get a different kind of solution. So, think about it. The problem is in the middle. Okay, the problem is in the middle, and the dimensions are all in like different levels. And from every floor you look at the problem, you'll be able to get a different perspective, right? So it's the same thing. When you're operating from a higher dimension, things tend to be different. And another big thing is, another big thing is it can be really hard to operate from higher dimensions when you're living on 3D Earth, because often you are pulled into the 3D drama, earth-based drama, earth-based problems, earth-based suffering, etc. And as twin flames, we are already highly sensitive, and we tend to feel others, we tend to feel places, we tend to feel everything around us on a much more magnified level. So it can really take a toll on us. So it's like we tend to absorb things around us. So it does affect how we see things, how we perceive things. So, how do you actually protect yourself, So, awareness is key to a lot of things. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. So, we are talking about the different dimensions and timelines and how it affects us twin flames. And as twin flames, if we actually meet in these other timelines, we are constantly meeting our divine counterpart in other timelines. So, that is the magic of it. When you start viewing life on an energetic level, everything shifts. Everything, from your perspective to your consciousness, everything. Things will no longer be solid, and the way you deal with things, deal with problems, deal with what is going on with your twin flame, everything will shift. Most of y'all are in different stages of the twin flame journey, and it can be extremely, extremely tough, right? For example, no matter what you do, you still feel entrapped. No matter what you try, you still feel entrapped. And no matter what you do or where you are in life, you are going up and down, trying to figure out. When you first realize that you're a twin flame, and after you get confirmation, you will start to go through a period of complete confusion, trying to understand what this love means and what this love is. And no matter what you do, why it keeps hitting you back and back and back. So once you're aware, okay, I am on a twin flame journey, the second step is actually to manage your expectations. Of course, everybody wants to be in union because that's what feels normal, and that is what is going to happen eventually. As twin flames, you can never be in separation for too long. Everything, excuse me, everything that you're experiencing on earth is just an expression of what life is on 3D. Hi, Diana. Diana says hi to everyone. Hi, Samantha. Samantha says hi to everyone. Guys, keep the questions coming in. I know this is a big topic, and you're probably wondering what are timelines, what dimensions. Okay, dimensions are every dimension has got a certain frequency that we operate on, and that's why it feels different. So dimensions tend to go in line with densities as well. So when you're in lower dimensions, things tend to be denser, things tend to be more concrete in a way. So when you're feeling sad, for instance, if you look at it from a different dimension, the sadness will be felt differently. For example, 3D sadness, 4D sadness, 5D, you will come to a state where you will be able to see where the sadness comes from and how it goes back to your past and everything like that. So, guys, keep the questions coming in. Oh, hey, Becca. Thanks for the question. I'm going to read it out. Love this. Opening to receive, and so many things are coming into my life. Yet, my TF has that first dimension going on with addictions. But that is okay. I did feel him yesterday after not feeling anything for a while, and that felt good. I feel like I've been shifting timelines and moving into a new reality over the past month, especially. Wow, that is truly, truly wonderful. It definitely shows that you're experiencing different frequencies and different dimensions, and yet you're able to also see where your twin flame, your divine masculine, is energetically. So that is excellent. That's why, guys, once you start understanding and learning more about the language of energies, things will easen up a little because your whole understanding and perspective of life will just shift. So, having said that, I will probably do another live explaining what every dimension is about. Becca is asking me, isn't it all connected? My energy is to guide him to right. Yes, absolutely, it's connected. See, once you're able to see what is going on, you will be able to help him more. So, in that regard, when you are experiencing all these different um, energies and frequencies and dimensions, you are actually inspiring him to evolve and come to that state as well. So, in that regard, yes, it's all connected. And from the highest perspective, you'll realize that everything happens for a reason. Hey, Tanya. Tanya says hey to everyone. Oops. Right, that is what I totally feel. Yes, Becca, I'm so glad. That's why I want you guys to be like fascinated. I want you guys to be excited, like just think about it, where you are and you're able to experience all these dimensions and timelines and frequencies and astral traveling, astral projection, literally traveling, to different planets, all from where you're seated. Isn't it marvelous? Isn't it fascinating? So once you have that kind of awe and wonder, you will start to attract situations, opportunities, places. You'll meet people. You will start to understand that, hey, what I have known about life is completely different to what life is. That's why that fascination, that's why be like a child sometimes, be curious, be amazed. Often, when we start to have our imagination, going through that limitless possibilities of exploration and understanding who we are on so many levels, we are cut short. In school, society, the people we meet, we're always like, hey, why are you wasting time contemplating on these things? Because scientifically, it's not that. But there's so much more going on. So, some people, what happens is they have all this creativity, this intuition and understanding and soul traveling. When they discuss it with the wrong people, they get sent to the wrong people and they end up being diagnosed and taking medication, and their gifts starts to get shut. And that is the sad part of human reality, because there are, I'm not saying that everyone with gifts, go through that line of being medicated or etc. No, like some people, what happens is that they're wrongly diagnosed and then their gifts are suppressed. Because some people are truly suffering from mental illness, that's a completely different category and topic. But anyway, going back into, so how can you be grounded and still understand, the different dimensions and travel different dimensions? That is the big part of our discussion here. So it's very important to always you need to always question everything. When your mind is open, you're open to receive, you're also open to question. And the more you question, the more awareness you'll be given, and the more you will start to evolve and grow and perceive. And right where you are, you'll start to feel everything. And after that, it will become a day-to-day thing. You'll be traveling different dimensions. You'll be able to pinpoint where you are. You'll be able to pinpoint what other people are going through too. That's how healing takes place. Reiki is like Reiki or Isis Seichim or any kind of healing modality. Things are happening on a multi-dimensional way. Even the healing is so, how do I put it? It's so expensive. It's like so many dimensions at play. That's why quantum healing is amazing too, because you are totally tapping onto energies of 12D and healing a person. So that's what, people call it, like psychic surgery and things like that. And that's how miracles actually happen. Some patients in the hospital, all of a sudden, they are free of cancer, free of pain, free of illness. How does that happen? Quantum healing has taken place, and that's what we call God's miracle. We'll look at some questions. Marsha, I want so much to experience the different dimensions with my TF, but when I feel the pull to experience the dimensions and the ascensions, I do it. I realize I cannot wait for my TF. Exactly, guys. Like sometimes you'll have to like take the step back and truly focus on your life and realize there's so much you can do. You are like limitless. And once you start traveling through these dimensions, you'll realize how beautiful life is. There's so much more. And when you start vibrating higher and higher and evolving and starting to grow and starting to see and starting to perceive and starting to interpret and enjoy all these different dimensions, you become a master of your life. And then everything would make sense. You will realize what is suffering, why you're going through what you're going through, why there's certain blocks and restrictions, why there's certain things in your lives that keep happening over and over again. You will start to be able to pinpoint exactly. Actually, that's what we healers do. We are able to see things in a multi-dimensional perspective, and that's why we are able to pinpoint that healing. We are able to have that laser focus on that area which needs healing, or we are able to go there. Oh, right, this person is going through past life trauma that's not limited only to this lifetime but multiple lifetimes and everything. Oh, Brooke is saying, oh, I'm resonating with this. Oh, that is wonderful. Guys, like I said, this is a topic that we can talk for hours and hours. It's truly magical. And that's why only to humans the currency of earth is money, but the true currency is energy. That's why it's so important to protect your energies and not to give your power away. When they say don't give your power away, there's so much more meaning to it than just don't give your power away. A lot of people give their power away in so many different ways, from signing contracts, from buying stuff. Everything is a kind of a contract, like you're being bound. And then when you're bound to like a house loan or this or that, society has been so intelligently designed that way, where you're bound to something, not something, many things throughout your lifetime. And then you spend a whole chunk of your life paying off what you signed up for. And that's how, you know, um, that's how the controllers of society keep you in that energy level: fear, worry, pain, all of this, and take away the freedom of your unlimitedness. And it can be really, really, really stressful, because you don't even have the time. And that's why the movie Matrix is a perfect example. When human beings are given a certain routine, it's so easy to manipulate their lives. And now, if you see more and more, everything is subscription based, from Netflix to your phone to everything. You're subscribing to a service where you're paying monthly. And in order to pay, you need to have a proper job and you need to have a proper income. And when you have all these responsibilities, kids, family, you are not able to focus on your soul growth as much as you want to. Lisa's question: how many dimensions are humans capable of accessing? Humans are capable of accessing all the dimensions, and the truth is, there are unlimited dimensions, there are infinite dimensions. But the ones that are more obvious is 1 to 12. I would put it as 1 to 12. Then above 12 is the dimensions of the anti-material worlds. So, for example, the 12 dimensions, example, eighth dimension is where soul blueprints are born. That's where, before coming to earth, we actually create our own soul blueprint of what we're going to experience and things like that. And also 80s, 90s, where all the intergalactic dialogues take place of different planets, where different species, um, in terms of evolution and everything. So Earth is very interesting because there's a wall around Earth. So everyone who enters Earth come in with a level of amnesia, and so much of what you already know is forgotten. But just because it's forgotten doesn't mean that it's not there. It is there. So that's why when you start connecting from within, you'll start to remember who you are and how you are so immensely wonderful as a being, and you have so much to give and contribute and to expand in ways beyond what you have been perceiving your whole life. So Lisa, oh, Brooke says so much truth. Yes, so much truth. And Lisa's comment, yes, you trade your life for stuff. You don't think that's what you're doing when you buy something or sign a contract, but the real price is not the dollar. It's your time, your life, energy for years to come. Exactly. That's why the true currency of life is energy. So that's why don't give your power away. And how do you actually like navigate out of this? It takes a while because you can't just, decide to like pack your bags and walk out of the 3D matrix. But there are people who completely live off the grid. And more people are doing it, but it's quite hard. So the key is to exist within this, but without giving your power away. So, for example, um, the biggest the biggest test is being in a room filled with temptations and not being tempted by anything. So it's like existing where you are, but not letting it get to you. So that's where everything lies. And before you know it, you are on subscription to everything. Not everything. And we need to do what we need to do to live in that certain frequency and energy to survive this everyday life. So, guys, keep the comments coming in. Wow, there's so much I want to teach you guys about the different dimensions and how things work. So, in the higher dimensions, things tend to be more telepathic. You're no longer communicating with words. It's like an energy transmission. You just know. So that's why when you get these downloads and you tend to feel like, hey, I've received something, but I don't know what it is. And it takes a while for your system to actually translate what you have downloaded. So that's what's taking place there. So, how do you meet your twin flame in different dimensions? That's the thing is, you're already meeting your divine masculine in different dimensions, different timelines. It's just that you're not aware of it yet. Once you're aware of it, you'll realize that why am I so stuck in 3D, and why am I trying to manifest union here when I'm united everywhere else? And why am I in separation? All these questions will tend to come to you when you start remembering who you are on a soul level, that is one, who you are on a multi-dimensional level, that is number two. And once you figure both of this out, you will able to create the reality that you are perceiving. That's a very good question. What is the ultimate goal to live your life in? Fifth would be a wonderful dimension to operate on. So when you're in fifth, you tend to look at everything from a more soul level. So, example, there's a problem right in front of you. You will tend to use your intuition more Rather than when you're operating from 3D or 4D, you'll tend to use more of emotions and feelings. 4D more of like rationality, thought, this, that. But when your intuition takes over, like I say, the right solution will just present itself to you without you losing so much energy. So, in a way, once you start living from 5D more, you will start to feel more fulfilled and more in alignment with everything. So, 5D is the way to go. There was another few things I wanted to say, and I forgot. There was something I wanted to say, and I totally forgot. Another big part is that how do you know you are actually traveling? And it's not just your imagination, but you're really traveling. You will actually feel that energy shift. So you can consciously just sit down. So meditation is one of the ways to actually travel through different dimensions as well. So when you let your mind wander and let it be free, you will start to see things that would not make sense. And the more you tend to focus and concentrate and start to witness what you're feeling, you will notice that you're getting better at it. That's why a big thing is, number one is to focus on you, and also to focus on how things are, number two. And when you look at things from a very, when you let go of control. So a lot of people struggle with meditation is because you put in so much control. You're like, oh, I need to not have any thoughts. I need to focus on this. And then when you put in that much of pressure, you tend to drift away from the purpose of going thoughtless. So example, you keep telling your mind, I want to go thoughtless. I don't want to think anything. Then you would tend to think a lot. So that moves you away from perceiving who you are. Hi Amber, I'm good. How are you? Ashita has a question: how to shift from one dimension to another? All right. That is a very good question. So firstly you need to be aware what dimension you are. Most of the time you're either in 3D or 4D. And from how you feel, you'll be able to actually pinpoint the dimension you are. So 3D, you're probably filled with stress, you're probably filled with life pulling you down, and you will tend to feel things in a more physical way. 4D, your mind, you'll be in constant stress, you will tend to feel the pressures from a very mind perspective. And when you're in 5D, things will start to easen up a bit. Example, bliss. When you are experiencing a state of bliss, that is 5D. So that's how you can shift to a different dimension. And when you're once you're in 5, then going up to the other dimensions become much more easier. Becca, oh, my stress level has relaxed so much. I have major car issues and I'm not worried about them, which is amazing. So that, Becca, is a clear example of 5D. Because if you're operating from 3 or 4, you it will automatically, you'll be affected by the stress. So that is the difference. So when you actually drop down to like the one, like the first dimension, for example, that's when it gets to the level of depression. So when people are suffering from depression, they're actually going down to like the first dimension. And then you have got the lower 12. The lower 12 are the hellish dimensions, and this is where people get trapped in like trauma, or they're constantly reliving something in their past, or going through extreme torture. So that those are the lower 12D, and that's where demons and all kinds of entities exist there. Another thing you have to note is when you are operating at a higher dimension, you won't really be affected by lower energy beings or entities or anything like that because they can't see you anymore. So, for instance, when you're in 5D, those who are in lower dimensions can't see you anymore. So, so beings or entities or anything like that can only get to you or feel you from that dimension onwards. So, for example, a 4D level being can only get access to 4D, 3D, 2D, and below. So, they won't be able to get access to 5D. So, when you're 5D, you won't be tricked, you won't be caught. And when you start living in 5D a lot more, you will notice that you don't make decisions that bounce you to a lot of things. But when you live more in 3D, 4D, you would be like signed up for billions of programs and you are like probably paying for so much that you're not even utilizing. All right, Becca has a question. I see the major shift with these things. I still lose my patience with my kids or get frustrated. But with finances, I feel a huge shift as I trust things will work out soon enough. Wow, that's wonderful. So, if you, Becca, if you notice when you're getting frustrated, probably you're dropping to 4D or 3D at that moment, but somehow now you're able to bring your energies up again to the higher dimensions, which is okay. So, it takes a while for you to like truly embrace the art of living in 5D. So, one way is to still see things in a 3D, but not let it affect you. That means you're looking at the 3D world with 5D lenses. But sometimes you can't totally avoid the 3D world as well. Sometimes you have to go into the 3D space. But another way is to detach from it. So one way of understanding the situation would be to so for example, one way would be you can go down to 3D and be detached, or you can stay in 5D and think of a solution to your problem from there. So that's why, people say, oh, I'm guided by my higher self to do this, guided by my higher self to do that. But once you are there with your higher self, you are in the same frequency. So one way is to actually completely, so example, you look at a problem, don't think it is your problem, think of it such that, oh, that's not my problem, but how would I solve it? So take yourself out of it, take yourself out of it. So that's why when you're going through intense yearning, when you're missing your twin flame a lot, when you're really struggling, you don't know what to do and you want to let go of control, take yourself out of the situation, like see yourself, hey, I'm feeling all of this and I'm feeling all this pain, but I want to like come out of this. So, what would I do? Then all the solutions would come to you. So, detachment can be a big thing and it can be tricky as well. All right, Lisa, does telepathy take place in a particular dimension or there's no correlation? Telepathy is again multidimensional. So there's different level of telepathy in different dimensions. So, like example, 3D telepathy is literally reading thoughts of your mind. 5D telepathy would be two levels higher. So, you're not only reading the thoughts of what the person, but everything that is connected to the thought, their feeling, their emotion, everything, why they are reacting that way, why they are feeling the way, responding the way, all of that would come to play. So, that's why it's very, very interesting. Telepathy can be so cool in that regard. So that's why once you start like seeing things in a very superpower perspective, things just shift. You're literally dancing through dimensions. Becca, I realize it pretty quick and can move out of it. I can talk with my kids and share how I went down and reacted and say that I don't want to do that. It's quite a journey and process, step by step. Yes, It is, because we are still in this human body limited by, a 3D body, a 3D mind. Everything is third dimensional. That's why when you have that great level of detachment to your body and to your soul, you will see your life transforming. Ah, Lisa, how cool. Brooke, I've been bouncing between the three this week. Full moon definitely has played its part. Yes, it has, Brooke, it has. And the past few weeks, however, my DM had been low himself, so I feel it's also the pull towards him that has me drop down at times too. Something happens and then it pushes me back to where I'm meant to be. And something happens and then it pushes me back to where I'm meant to be, and same within the home with the children, also with work. I see fourth and fifth dimensions. Yes, totally. Thanks, Brooke, for that. Yeah. So once you're able to see how things are operating, like example, you say, I see fourth and fifth dimension, that awareness itself is going to bring you so much wisdom and knowledge and awareness to your present situation. But you are right, your divine masculine's energies can take a toll on yours. So sometimes when you're really feeling low, especially after feeling quite blissful and high, you will know that your DM's energy is like kind of like pulling you back to what he's feeling. So again, you will have to use the method of detachment. When you are detached to your DM, like for example, you recognize that as your DM's energy. That's why with twin flames, it can get really, really complex because you are connected. With anyone else, you'll be like, that's not my energy, I'm not connected to it. But with your twin flame, you already feel. So how do you detach? So you have to bring in the awareness that right now I'm in a 3D body and I'm limited to the 3D body, and we are separate in the 3D body. Hence what he's experiencing is not mine, and I want to keep sending love to him so that he feels better. And that's how you neutralize the energies. And this full moon has been very, very intense, has taken a great toll on a lot of people emotionally. It has been intense, like I have no words to describe. In fact, the last three full moons of 2023 has been so transformative but intense. So a lot of lethargy, migraines, physical body ache, pains that you didn't even notice that was coming to you, everything might have surfaced. Also a lot of grief. A lot of the collective is going through the process of grieving, releasing. So this is the time where so much is transforming. So you may feel like you've slowed down a little, but don't worry, it's time to bring that energies up again and to feel alive, to feel enlightened, to feel more in sync with the universe. Like I do feel at times when I'm low, it's my DM's energy, which makes sense. So I just have more desire to rise up to power over that and help him rise up too. Yes, like I was saying, Becca, keep sending your DM love, keep sending him light. Also go into that zone of neutralizing your energies. So when you feel like he's down and you're feeling better, you can actually help him to neutralize in that way as well. But it's most important to recognize, whether it's your energy or not. Sometimes it's okay, just because your DM is suffering, you don't have to go through what they're feeling. It's normal tendency as a divine feminine, you want to be there for your DM, even energetic level. So you tend to go down and you tend to want to go up and go there and try to go energetically to that space to help your DM out. But sometimes you don't have to. So that's why a great level of detachment is so important in this journey. Thanks, Brooke, for all the hearts. Lisa, being committed to the process but detached from the outcome. Perfect. You have said it so perfectly. Becca, it's almost fire season. That is going to feel good for me. Yes, it is going to feel good for you. So let's go back into that marvel of timeline, 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 um, traveling and dimensional, interdimensional traveling and multi-dimensional traveling and everything. It's so fascinating, you know. It starts with like once you start traveling, different frequencies, different timelines, the amount of knowledge and awareness you gather, and you start to feel you will have no time to worry about your divine masculine anymore. You would focus all of that evolution and growth towards you. And that's why people tend to be master manifestors, you know, like how do people like achieve so much, you know, like so much transformation? They meet the right people, they attract the right opportunities. How they literally, you know, like allowing, you know, allowing, they are also in control of these energies around them. So when you're like dream potting or like example, you are allowing these energies to completely transform right in front of you. That's when you become the magician yourself. And when you are aware that you have the power within you, things will change. You will be a master manifester. You can literally manifest anything you want, including union in 3D with your twin flame. But for that, you have to be completely light. You have to completely release all that doesn't serve you any longer. So, what is actually not allowing you to fully experience your power is your own limitations that has been set by society, conditioning, brainwashing, everything. So releasing all of this is what's going to create transformation for you. mm, that's why the art of energy, you know, learning what energy is and how it works enables you to be control of the energies. And once you are there, you become the most powerful being. And once you start being aware, you will start to remember and you will start to awaken, and you will know that you're not truly in separation with your twin flame any longer. So it goes back to feeling and sensing the marvel and awe and wonderment across these timelines. And that's why people up there do, you know, people who are highly successful, people who are billionaires, people who are, they are able to manifest in so many ways because they are in control of their destiny, because they truly understand how energy works, and it goes down to understanding how energy works. All right, guys, keep the questions coming in. I'll go on for another 10 more minutes and I'll wrap up for this week. I will definitely talk about a more interesting topic next week, but we will revisit this topic again because I feel there's so much more that I want to share with you guys, and it's going to be completely exciting. Um, having said that, summarizing what we have been talking about is that awareness is key, and knowledge of energy is paramount in understanding what your life, soul, purpose, your twin flame journey is all about. Once you're aware of how energy works, you're more in, you become the magician in orchestrating your own life events. And we'll talk more about that, like how manifestation works, how you're able to shift away within minutes from something that has been holding you back for lifetimes or years, present life trauma, past life trauma, all of these things as well. I was thinking of actually perhaps like doing a healing, life healing session with you guys. Maybe during the week we'll see how that goes. I think that will be interesting. Also, what else there is? Guys, keep the questions coming in. If not, I'm gonna wrap up for this week. And of course, if you guys want a private reading or a healing, feel free to DM me. Always at your service and happy to help you guys. Rachel, hi Vash. If we are with our DM in 5D, does he feel it in the heart space in 3D? Absolutely, he does. No, that's why, as twin flames, the DM tends to run because compared to any other relationship, the DM is always thinking about the DM and they are not able to understand why. So, this is actually what's happening because we are with our twin flame in 5D. We tend to occupy each other's lives in 3D as well, and that's what he's feeling in his heart space. So, thanks for the question, Rachel. All right, guys, do you guys have any other questions? Shall I wrap up? Keep the thread coming in about what other topics you guys want me to talk about, and I will touch on that. If not, I will wrap up for the day, guys. Love you all, and thank you all for joining. I promise, I will come in earlier next week. See. All right. You're most welcome, Becca. You're most welcome, Brooke. I will see you all soon. Thank you, Lisa, for all the hearts. Thank you all for joining in today's live. For those of you all are tuning in at a later time, if you have any questions, you can always ask me next week or, message me if there's anything you need to know. You're welcome, Rachel, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care and love you all. Bye bye.